for this tomorrow for Wednesday? It's just like our tally.
It's on there?
All the grad stuff on Miller News is from 2021. And there's nothing in between.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out at 20 after. Okay. I'm going to do 2 examples today. Can you hear and see my screen okay? Right, so here I am. Did you find that spot in your notes? Okay, this question says factor fully. Okay, so right now I don't know what to divide by. I have no idea what to divide by. So I'm going to start some tests. I'm going to test some values. I kind of want to see what's going to work. Okay, so the first number I'm going to test is if x equals 1. Okay, so does 1 work as an x-intercept or a 0? So plug it in. 1 cubed minus 3 times 1 squared plus 4. So 1 subtract 3 plus 4 equals 2. So is this an x-intercept or not? No. Because what am I looking for it to equal? I'm wanting it to equal 0. So I'm going to now go to negative 1. So I'm going to plug in negative 1. So negative 1 cubed minus 3 times negative 1 squared plus 4. Da da da. Mental math, calculator, not sure what you're doing. And it equals 0. So what do I know right now? I know x equals negative 1 is a 0 or a root or an x-intercept, whatever language you like. And what else do I know? X plus 1 is a factor. I know those things. Okay, now I have some information that I could start my division. So I'm going to be kind of thinking this. I'm going to take this and divide it by an x plus 1. Okay, so I'm going to do the shortcut, the synthetic division. Okay, what am I going to put on the outside? Negative 1. Okay, now I'm going to go into this polynomial and write down all of the coefficients. Are they in the order I want, or do I need any 0 replacements? So 1 for a cubic, and then a negative 3 for a squared. Then what? 0, because you have no x's, and then 4. Right, do you see that gap? There was no x's. Okay, so start your process, bring that down, times, add, keep going. Okay, you should have got a 0 because we already tested it over here. So we knew that it should be 0, right? Okay, what is this 1? 1 what? 1x squared, x, number, this would be a remainder, right? Okay, so factoring it. So this polynomial equals what times what? Factors are when you say something times something. So what was our first thing? X plus 1. So this divided by that was that. Therefore this times that is that, right? It works backwards. Okay, but this question says I need to fully factor. Can you break that down? And actually just by hand. So this is a simple trinomial. So what multiplies to 4? Okay, you could have also done this, right? Because when you would graph this, if I ever asked you to also graph it, what would you be doing? At 2? At 2, you'd be bouncing, right? Okay. So this is all about connecting synthetic division. You might have to factor it, and then you might also have to graph it as well. You can connect all those pieces together. All right, last one. Graph it. Okay, right now I know 2 things. I know the shape. What's the shape of it? Cubic. So that's an N. I also know the y-intercept just like that. What's the y-intercept number? It's going to hit at 6 on the y, because if x was 0, that'd be 6. So I know those 2 things. Okay. We're going to do the same thing we just did. To graph, I need it factored out. So I need to start with some factors. So we have to run a test. So let's test 1. 1 cubed minus 7. So we're just looking, is that 0 or not 0? What does that come out to be? Is that 0? It's 0, right? So I'm going to do this. I know that 1 is an x-intercept, so I know that's a factor. I'm going to do this division. Okay, so let's set it up. On the outside, I put the value, positive 1. Coefficient-wise, is there any zeros? Yeah, there's a squared that's missing, right? So 1 cubed, 0 on the squareds, negative 7 for the x's, 6 for the number. Okay, go ahead. You do know that that number of a remainder is going to be 0 because you've already tested it out. Okay, so what is our function here? So our function is x minus 1 times, what was this quotient here? This is 1 what? X squared plus 1x minus 6. Okay, that I'm going to break down by hand. So multiplies to 6, so 2 and 3. Add, subtract. And now I'm ready to graph. Okay, so x-intercepts 1, -3, +2. We knew that there was a y-intercept at 6. And we knew the shape was an N. So we have to make sure our N shape goes through, and through. There's no bounces, right? We didn't have any multiplicities on those. And there we go. So we tie in synthetic division with the graphene, and we're just putting them all together.